This holiday weekend, Joe Biden continuing his virtual campaign from the basement of his Delaware home.
Meanwhile, President Trump's campaign plans to fly aerial Keep America Great banners over U.S. beaches.
So, who's got the winning strategy? Let's bring in Fox News contributor and former GOP presidential candidate and governor, Mike Huckabee. Mike, tell us, what do you make? I've got to go to this Biden thing because really, this is not the first time. It is obviously the continued ability to make these gaffes, but now for the first time, he's being called on it by representatives of the African American community for his mistakes. But yet Biden continues from the basement to say he's going to win.
You know, I think Joe's basement campaign is somewhat maybe symptomatic of his whole approach to being president. If he were to be elected, we'd all be in the basement. I mean, that's the problem with Joe. This is a guy who has spent the last several months in the basement. I just saw a commercial yesterday. Joan London was talking about a place for Joe. It's where you put all your cranky relatives, down in the basement, and keep them out of sight. Because every time he surfaces, and it's kind of like, you know, Puxatawny Phil, the groundhog, he comes out, sees his shadow, makes a gaffe, and then spends the next 3 days with he and his staff apologizing for what he said. So he's better off just sending some written messages or learning to have someone do his voice and let him lip sync, because when he goes just off the script, it's disastrous, as we've seen this week.
Governor, what do you make of President Trump talking about, the reopening of churches and saying that he's willing to override governors who don't allow these places of worship to open this weekend? There's been a lot of talk about whether he would even be able to do that. But what do you make of his statement about his willingness to do so?
Well, how grateful I am for a president who recognizes the First Amendment of the Constitution that gives Americans two basic fundamental freedoms and says the government can't stop it. One is peaceful assembly. The other is freedom of religion. He has taken an affirmative stance for both. He's also recognized that it's ridiculous for some of these blue state governors to say that you can go have an abortion, but you can't go have prayer. That you can go to a big box store, walk around hundreds of total strangers, rub shoulders with them, with or without mask, but you can't go to a church that's been very careful in trying to make sure that people have social distance, the doors are left open so you don't touch door handles, all of the things that churches are doing. But people need their spiritual guidance. They need a sense of purpose, and they get that from church. I would contend that church is giving people a far greater sense of life than maybe going to a supermarket would. Certainly certain things have to be purchased, but the president is doing the right thing. As to whether he can order the governors, here's how. Only way I know he could do it would be that he would have the Justice Department demand that they simply required and file lawsuit against any governor or any local community that says that they cannot open a church if they're opening everything else, because the fact is that shows religious discrimination. That's not allowed, and I think the president would be within his rights to sick the DOJ on him.
Well, you're certainly right. I was at a grocery store yesterday, Governor. It was not life-giving. It was soul-crushing, okay? I think a lot of people are ready for those churches to be open, to congregate with fellow worshipers. But I want to ask about a tough story we heard this morning. One of your friends of many of us, Alan West, was in a motorcycle accident, and you're calling for prayers this morning.
You know, Alan West is a dear friend. I love him. I so respect him. Like you, he's a combat veteran. He put on the uniform of this country. He went and served. He put his life at risk. And today, you know, he's struggling and coming through the aftermath of a motorcycle accident near Waco, Texas yesterday. Still waiting on word this morning of any update on the condition. He was stable last night. Let's pray that he has full recovery. He's running for the chairman of the Republican Party of Texas. I just think he's one of the great patriots of our time, and I know that all the Fox and Friends viewers join me in praying for his full recovery.
Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, great American. I know we will be joining you in thoughts and prayers for him today. Governor, real quick, your Memorial Day message.
Let's not forget why we have this holiday. Let's enjoy it. Enjoy the beaches, the lakes, the parks, all the things, the barbecues. But as you celebrate freedom, remember that it was not free to hundreds of thousands of people who gave their lives for us to have this freedom. Let's cherish it, protect it, and pass it on to the next generation.
Amen.
Well said.
Governor
Well
Mike
said,
Huckabee,
Governor.
thank you very much. Appreciate your time, always.
Thank you.